The first speaker is Yoshikazu Oshima, and he wants to share his handout. So for the participants here at the site, please look up to this URL written on the board. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. Yeah, the URL is included in the handout as well. So for those who are attending online to download the same thing from this URL. Okay. Okay, so this talk is about the semantic markedness of Japanese words in the preterite or past perfective form. For example, 1 illustrates the issue. So interrupter A says, did you hire a new nurse at your clinic last month? And reply B, which literally translates as, can't identify anyone. Why? Sounds quite unnatural. An alternative answer is non-past perfect. On the other hand, sounds completely natural. Now, let's look at example 2. So, in reply to, did you go to the party last evening? You can say, yeah, no, I didn't go. However, this cannot be followed by, I didn't know that there was a party. Reply B is a non-past perfect. On the other hand, is a totally coherent way to say, I didn't go to the party and I didn't even know that there was a party. So it can be said that as long as negative clauses are concerned, the non-past perfect is the default way to describe a situation in the past. And the negative preterite is subject to what can be informally called the plausibility requirements. In examples 1 and 2, the choice of the preterite implicates that interlocutor B thinks that it was plausible for him to hire a new nurse and for him to go to the party. Since these events were not even plausible from the perspective of interlocutor B, the choice of the preterite is unnatural. This work argues that the Japanese negative preterite invariably expresses the occurrence of a negative eventuality as opposed to the non-occurrence of eventualities, and that the plausibility requirement can be accounted for as a side effect of this feature. It will be furthermore argued that while Japanese non-past tense clauses generally specify that the topic time overlaps or follows the utterance time, this does not necessarily apply to non-past perfect clauses, making it possible for a negative non-past perfect clause to represent the non-occurrence of events in a past topic time. Section 2 provides some background information about the concept of negative eventualities. It has been discussed in the literature that negative clauses can make reference to negative eventuality rather than describing the non-existence of eventuality. The examples in 3 and 4 illustrate reference to putative negative eventualities. In example 3, a clause with negation occurs as a complement of the perception verb see. What is seen here is arguably a negative eventuality. In example 4a and 4b, 4c, something is described as having happened, having taken place, or having been done. And this something, again, is presumably a negative eventuality. What exactly is a negative eventuality has been a matter of debate. Here, I follow Barnard and Champollion's approach. They actually do not go deep into the ontological nature of negative eventualities. They just say that when you have a certain set of events P, there is a corresponding set of negative events, neg of P. These two sets of events preclude each other in the sense that if one event in P takes place in a certain world, none in neg of P takes place in the same world, and vice versa. The set of events P could be something like events where Mary leaves. In this case, the set of events neg of P would be something like events whereby Mary stays. The axiom implied corresponds to the law of contradiction of classical Boolean negation. Under this way of seeing negation, the lexical entry for the English adverb not will look like 6. Where subscript E stands for eventive. So we apparently need eventive negation to deal with the meanings of sentences like 3 and 4. Now the next question is, now that we have this event negation, do we only need it? In other words, can we just get rid of classical Boolean negation? My position here is that we need both eventive negation in 6 and propositional negation in 7. I suggest that the English adverb not is ambiguous and can receive either the eventive or propositional interpretation. In example 8, the perception verb C singles out the eventive interpretation. In example 9, on the other hand, the negation could be either eventive or propositional. The propositional negation leads to what can be called the NOE review, so for non-occurrence of eventualities. This can be paraphrased as there was no eventuality where Mary died. The eventive negation, on the other hand, leads to what can be called the ONI and the ONE review, so for occurrence of negative eventualities. This can be paraphrased as there was a negative eventuality where Mary did not die. I furthermore suggest that reference to a negative eventuality is pragmatically highly constrained and is matter only when the occurrence of a corresponding positive eventuality was plausible, if not expected, at some point. It has been commonly acknowledged that, generally speaking, negative sentences are marked in comparison to affirmative sentences. So it is quite odd to say something like 11A. I observed Mary for 3 hours and he did not take a picture of an eggplant when Mary has not been expected to take any picture. Nevertheless, 11A appears to be a true statement. But what about 11B, C, and D, where the negation can only be eventive rather than propositional? I think they are not only odd, but also are not true. It is not clear if they are even false. It feels like they involve something like presupposition failure. Let's move on to section 3. Here, I will explain first what I take to be the meanings of the past and non-past tenses in Japanese. And then I propose that the two tenses differ in terms of how they may interact with negation. Japanese is said to have two tenses, past and non-past. The non-past tense indicates describes even the non-past tense is illustrated in 12. It generally indicates that the described eventuality either takes place in the future or at a time overlapping with the time of occurrence. On the other hand, the past tense, which is coded with the marker ta, indicates that the described eventuality takes place in the past. I adopt the more or less standard idea that a tense poses a restriction on topic time. The meaning of the past tense looks like 14. Here, the topic time at which the described eventuality takes place is specified to precede the time of occurrence. Regarding the non-past tense, I adopt the view that it is semantically vacuous and assume that the choice of the non-past tense conveys non-pastness only as an implication. This idea is, of course, controversial, and it is actually not essential to my main claims. Nonetheless, I find it quite appealing because it helps account for the distribution of the non-past perfect will be discussed in section 4 later. So the meaning of the non-past tense is regarded as being as simple as 16. And the meaning of a non-past tense clause looks like 18. So the idea is that at the level of coded meaning, 18 does not convey any temporal information. But when this sentence is used, usually it implicates that the described eventuality takes place at some non-past time. That is, the meaning of 18 is usually pragmatically enriched into 21, where the shaded part corresponds to the implicated content. Now, here is my main proposal. I propose that the negation in a Japanese negative preterite is invariably prevented, so that, for example, ND2B allows only the ONE reading, 22A. I mean, 22B allows only the ONE reading, while 22A allows 2 readings. Yeah, so 24A is the N4E reading for 22A. And this involves the proportional negation. 24B is the ONE reading for 22A, which involves the marked event negation. And what about 22B? I suggest that it does not allow the NOE reading, but allows only the ONE reading. The plausibility requirements for the Japanese negative preterites can now be given a straightforward account. As we saw earlier, the use of event negation is natural only when the occurrence of the corresponding positive eventuality has been expected, or at least considered to be plausible. The plausibility requirements for the Japanese negative preterite can be seen as a manifestation of this general pattern. But the proposal I just made invites another question. Why is it that the Japanese past tense is compatible only with event negation? I propose that this has to do with the grammatical status of the non-past marker. Historically, it has developed from the auxiliary tali, which is an archaic marker of perfect. In today's Japanese, ta is not anymore an auxiliary, but there is evidence that it is a particle separated from its host by a word boundary. It is a general fact in Japanese grammar that in a configuration where predicate P is followed by an element E, a component within P cannot semantically outscope a component within E. Example 27 illustrates this point. In 27a, the negation occurring within the main predicate has to fall under the scope of the benefactive meaning contributed by the auxiliary. In 27b, the negation and benefactive base occur within the same word, and the negation semantically outscopes the benefactive base. It seems that's quite plausible that a word boundary blocks negation in the host to take scope over path, thereby inducing the differing scopal behavior of the non-past and past tense markers, which are illustrated in 28. Due to their semantic types, propositional negation must be applied after the closure of the eventuality variable, hence taking scope over the tense. Eventual negation, on the other hand, may take scope under the tense, and this implies that the negation occurring in preterite can only be eventual. Okay, so I have proposed a solution to the puzzle of the limited distribution of the negative preterite. But this puzzle has a flip side. That is why the negative non-past perfect can be used when we seem to be talking about a situation in the past. I will suggest that the Japanese non-past perfect sometimes receives what may be called a preterite-like interpretation. Section 4.1 is meant to illustrate some background facts about what I have been referring to as the perfect aspect. In Japanese linguistics, it has been agreed that the opposition between the so-called teiru form and the simple form is central to the aspect system of the language. The teiru form receives a wide array of interpretations, including the resulting state, progressive, and habitual interpretation. Among the various uses of teiru, the one that concerns the purposes of the current work is what has been labeled as perfect existence and perfect experience or introspection. Providing examples like 29a through C, Taramura maintains that the function of teiru in its perfect use is to describe an event in the past that has significance on the present time. I assume that the teiru perfect is by and large synonymous to the English perfect and adopt the semantic analysis along the lines of Parton 1990. So the meaning of 31a came already at iru, where iru receives the perfect interpretation. It looks like 32a. Which amounts to saying that the resultant state of can seeing Mary holds as a contextually understood non-past topic time. Yeah, 31b is almost the same, except that the topic time is set to be in the past. But under this analysis of the Japanese perfect, it is puzzling that while question 34a can naturally be answered with a negative non-past perfect mitenai as in 34bb, while it cannot be naturally answered with an affirmative non-past perfect miteiru as in 34ba class. 34ba with a preterite and 34bb with a non-past perfect are both natural responses to question 34a. It is implausible, however, that these two replies are construed as being about different temporal scenes. Intuitively, they seem very much like being about the same temporal scene. It is noteworthy in this connection that some instances of affirmative non-perfect clauses too seem to make reference to a past topic time. Such instances are commonly found in written historical and biographical accounts. As exemplified is the bold-faced part of 36, which is about Gandhi, and 37, which is about Martin Luther King Jr. I suggest that take the ill on its perfect interpretation optionally poses a restriction on the topic time, specifying that it includes the time of the source event and is prior to the time of utterance. The revised representation of ill is given in 38, with the optional semantic component underlined. The topic time restriction optionally posed by E conflicts with and suppresses the non-pastness implicature usually induced by a non-pastness predicate. So 39A and 39B now have two possible interpretations, 40A and B for 39A and 41A and B for 39B. Okay. And the B interpretations here can be characterized as quasi-preterite or pseudo-preterite interpretation. Okay. I suggest that the third preterite is the default and unmarked means of describing a situation in the past, and the preterite-like meaning of iru is mobilized only for special purposes. One is to compensate for the inability of a negative preterite to describe the non-occurrence of eventualities. Another is to signal a marked discourse relation, such as exemplification in supplementation between the clause and the surrounding discourse elements. Okay, I will just show you the conclusion here, and I stop talking at this point. Thank you very much.
So are there any questions? I think you are supposed to come on here to for your boss that called by his mind. Make some. Perhaps some.
Okay, let me do practice. Well, I have a question about the ontology of negative events. I had some discussion about it with Timothy Bernard in this August, and I'm wondering what is the double negation of event, because even negative is like maybe a singleton set of state which has a member if and only if there is no no member in the original event set, right? Well, this morning I forgot I didn't set an alarm. That was a problem, but it means that there is a state of not setting an alarm. Right. But what would happen when we doubly negate it? It is not the case that I didn't set an alarm. It's again produces a new set of state, which has a member if and only if neg P is an empty set. And my point is that newly created doubly negated set of state is different from the original set of setting an alarm event. Okay. And if that is the case, then you will produce well, infinite number of new set of events or states in an ontology. Is that are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, I'm not. I doubt. I mean, a good question to answer that question. So what about that? You talked to Timothy Bernard.
Yeah.
What?
Well, we were in trouble at that stage.
Well, Can we just not treat neg of P as like new P and think of the neg of P?
Yeah, but we have to think about the transition of neg P, right?
Oh,
In the domain of events.
oh.
And neg P is a different set from P itself. And neg P is different from neg P and even from P.
Right.
And then how about neg P and neg P? They are all different.
Okay.
And it introduces the infinite chain of producing new.
Okay. I understand the problem, but so I honestly I'm not able to come up with nice answer to that. I will think about it.
Okay, thank you. That's my comment.
Some other questions? Yes, so on the Zoom, I think, Chumin Lee, we have some questions. Chumin?
Thank you for your nice talk. When you have a sentence like something koto o shite iru, then it has a perfective interpretation, as you say. Still, okay. Then, do you think shiru is a kind of eventive verb at that time?
Did you say shiru?
Shiru.
Shiru?
Shite iru.
Okay. Shiru is a kind of peculiar verb, yeah. So I think corresponds to the resultative state interpretation of when you say, you know, そのニュースを知っている typically receives what we call resultative state interpretation of which is distinct from the perfect interpretation. Yeah, that's a simple answer. But Kiru is special in that the negative form corresponding to shiteiru is not shiteinai, but you would have to say shiranai. And so if you just look at the form shiranai, then you might think that it could be like a stative verb when it is negated. So it's kind of complicated, yeah, but that's some things I can't say on the spot right now. Did I answer your question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanada? I just want to mention, maybe also descriptively, you could consider examples like during the summer vacation. So, 夏休みの間、太郎が来なかった。Then that sentence would be definitely not a negative event, but it's a negation of the occurrence of the event, I suppose, and that should be a problem for your case.
I'm sure. So this example was given here to as an evidence for negative eventualities. And in the literature, there has been data with adverbs of duration and like y 3 times, 4 times kind of frequency expressions. And but you know, it appears that after all, that kind of expressions, temporal adverbs, do not really count as strong evidence for negative eventualities. I mean, they could be, you know, Ken did not stop for the traffic light 3 times. Looks like evidence for negative eventualities, but it has been argued that it could be handled without having response to negative eventualities.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
The time is just up, so please